Aloha, beautiful souls, and welcome to another timeless pick a card reading here at Transform with Rian. And in today's reading, we are going to be exploring a very popular topic for tarot readings, your future spouse. And in today's reading, I'd like to see if we can tune into what your future spouse wants in a partner. All right, so let's take our options for today's reading from the Magic of Marvel Tarot, or Oracle, I should say, Oracle deck. So your options are the Scarlet Witch. Again, to answer the question, what is your future spouse looking for in a partner? Captain Marvel. And last but not least, Nightcrawler. Ooh, I'm looking forward to do this reading. I can't wait to share this information with you as to what your future spouse is looking for in a partner. Timestamps to go to your reading are down below. I will see you there. Hello there, group number one. Welcome to your timeless pick a card reading to find out what your future spouse is looking for in a partner. So you were drawn to Scarlet Witch. And here on the bottom, it says, explore beyond the veil. So what I'm getting from your future spouse is that they are looking for someone who they can go deep with, someone who has an interest as well in going deep with others. So they're that type of person that doesn't really enjoy superficiality or kind of like basic B's. Do you know what I'm saying? I get the sense that your future spouse is someone that likes to dive deep, really get to know somebody and kind of like move past the surface qualities, the surface kind of persona really quickly. I actually wouldn't be surprised if your future spouse maybe has some Scorpio in their birth chart, because Scorpio energy really doesn't like to dwell much in the mundane or sort of like the common ground. They're not the type of person who's like, oh, what do you think of the weather? How's it going? Like, they like to go deep and even into spaces that might feel a bit uncomfortable for most people, like that kind of depth. And I'm getting the sense here too that your future spouse, because it's again exploring beyond the veil, is someone who is very spiritual. They're actually seeking a soulmate, someone who they feel like they have a lot in common with when it comes to maybe even philosophies, okay? Life philosophies, morals, ethics, values, okay? They're really seeking a deep connection, someone who it feels like they're kind of on the same wavelength, on the same vibe, okay? Who has a desire to go into sort of the deeper meanings of life, the deeper undercurrents of life, okay? And someone who's like not afraid to go into those spaces, all right, where you have deep and meaningful conversations and sort of dive deep into certain topics as well, okay? So there are some people who just like to look at the surface of information, and what I'm getting from your future spouse is they like someone who likes to go beyond just surface level analyzing, okay? And search for the deeper meaning behind things. That's what I'm hearing with your future spouse. So I'm getting the sense that they want someone they can actually have deep, meaningful conversations with, okay? Again, that soul connection. Let's get some tea leaf cards to find out more about what kind of person they are looking for to be their partner, their future spouse. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. I feel like we just need to take these cards right here to start off with. Let's just see what this is. Okay, Lion. We have here time to act. Older woman. So this is regardless of gender or sex. I'll explain that in a moment. Wreath. And basket. So what I'm seeing here is they definitely are seeking someone who's mature. Okay, they don't want people who are childish, immature. Um, I'm getting the sense here that they want someone who's a bit of an independent thinker, okay? Someone who doesn't necessarily just go with popular consensus, popular opinion, someone who doesn't just like go with the crowd, someone who can think for themselves, analyze information and data and go from there, okay? So that's what this older woman energy is, someone who's very mature. And we have the lion here as well. So this, they're looking for someone who's courageous and brave. What I'm getting from this lion card is someone who isn't afraid to express their opinion, even if maybe there will be people who will disagree with it, okay? That they will express their true thoughts, their true feelings, regardless of whether or not the people around them will agree. So it seems to me like your future spouse is someone who has very strong opinions, is an independent thinker, and they want someone who can match that. Okay, not someone who's going to get intimidated or back down if someone disagrees with them or has a different opinion. I'm hearing too that your future spouse kind of, that's one way in which they learn and they grow and they have maybe a greater sense of the world around them is by hearing contrary opinions, hearing other people's points of view that differs from them. So your future spouse isn't looking for someone who's like agreeable, okay? Not that they enjoy fighting or arguing or anything. Maybe they just like enjoying debating. And this could be part of going deeper into a subject matter, right? Is speaking with someone who may have a different opinion or a different viewpoint on something and who isn't afraid to share it. With this wreath card, I'm not sure why with the wreath, it's making me think of. I was watching a Korean drama, and at somebody's funeral, they like part of what they do to sort of memorialize this person and honor this person is give this like big, huge wreath to at their sort of I guess what is that thing called at the when it's not quite a viewing, okay, because you're not viewing the person who passed away, you're just kind of going to pay your respects type of thing. It's making me think of that, and the energy that I'm getting here is when difficult things happen in life, when there is loss, that's sort of how your future spouse makes a judge of character, okay? So they're looking for someone who has gone through difficult challenges in life and has become stronger or grown from them. They didn't get sort of like damaged or lost their spirit, lost their will to kind of live, if you know what I mean, from challenges or difficulty. Like they don't want someone who just will give up. Okay, they want someone who has like a lot of endurance, a lot of stability. Okay, so definitely, I guess, for lack of a better word, they don't want someone who's weak. They want someone who can face hardships and push through it and fight through it. Okay, someone who has a very strong will to live. And again, who isn't intimidated by any challenges or difficulties or obstacles. With this basket, this is very interesting because it's kind of taking a different route from what we were just talking about, which felt very intense, which is kind of appropriate because that's how Scorpios can be. But with this basket, what I'm getting is that your future spouse also enjoys a good meal, also enjoys eating out. They're probably a bit of a foodie. And it could be like that's one of the ways they love having these deep, meaningful conversations is over a delicious, savory, hearty meal, okay? Which is kind of very interesting. I wasn't expecting to pull that information through. I'm also seeing too that, your future spouse also wants someone who has a healthy appetite in general, someone who enjoys eating, okay? Not someone who is like, okay, I'm just gonna have a salad and like a yogurt or a piece of bread and I'm like good. Like this is, they want someone who they can share a meal with. I'm getting the vibe that a mealtime, dinner time especially, plays a really important role in their upbringing, in sort of their culture, as like a time for bonding, as a time for sharing space with loved ones. Okay, kind of like when I was growing up, my family is from the Philippines, and dinner was like that time where we all came together and like found out how each other's days went, and we always ate together at dinner. And back when I was younger, there was like no TV, no cell phones at the table. You actually had to talk to each other and engage with each other in conversation, and so that was very important, very meaningful. And of course, in many, many cultures around the world too, when you have special occasions like a birthday or something, like people do it over a huge meal where people can kind of just be merry and happy and joyful, and have good conversations and laughter. So I get the sense that like food and meals carry a lot of significance for your future spouse. And so they like being able to converse over meals. I'm also seeing that, they would love to go out and maybe have coffee, like at on a balcony or outdoor seating under the sun with like the little umbrella, and that, over a cup of coffee and like an afternoon dessert, or in the Philippines we call it merienda, so afternoon dessert, coffee time. That would be something that they enjoy doing as well, is being outside and taking in the scenery over, a nice little snack and beverage with conversation. Okay, Spirit is also guiding me to take a couple cards from the Mermaid Tarot as well. So let's do that. Okay, so you have Judgment. You also have Ace of Cups. Ooh, interesting. The High Priestess. Eight of Wands. We have the Seven of Wands. Look at this, right? Someone who's kind of getting cornered and surrounded. And Eight of Cups. So some things that I'm seeing here is that word independence is coming through again. With this Eight of Cups, what I'm seeing is, your future spouse thinks that a person who kind of knows what's right for them, respects themselves enough to be able to walk away from something that doesn't appreciate them, that doesn't value them, they find that insanely attractive. It's sort of like this sense of like, I want you, but I don't need you, right? Like that kind of vibe. So there's this, your future spouse is very much attracted to this degree of independence where it's like, yeah, I think you're super cool. I like spending time with you. I like the connection we have, the time we share together, that kind of stuff. But I'm not like clingy. I'm not dependent on you. I still have my own thoughts, my own dreams, my own wishes, my own goals. And I'm not afraid to pursue it, and that being in a relationship isn't going to stop me from being an individual and being my authentic self. I'm not going to compromise who I am for the sake of someone else. And your future spouse really finds that quite attractive, actually. And there's something here with this High Priestess where it's about, they really appreciate someone who trusts themselves, right? Who trusts their inner voice, their inner wisdom. Again, despite what anyone else may be saying or doing, or what might be the logical or reasonable thing to do, that you will kind of go with what your gut instinct is telling you. Okay, it seems like your future spouse really values someone that has a high sense of self, a high sense of maybe intuition, and trusting that. It doesn't seem like your future spouse is someone who necessarily values or lives in the realm of logic and rational thinking. Okay, again, maybe that could be that sort of spiritual side that we were tuning into. um, Now, with this Ace of Cups, I'm really sensing that your future spouse is looking for someone who is very different and very unique. Your future spouse, I'm hearing, has had lovers and exes, past romances, and throughout those relationships, what they've really come to find is what type of person maybe they don't feel is a good match for them, or is not kind of what they want, right? So it was this experience for them of like dating people just to kind of get a sense of what works for them, what kind of partner they want in their life. Okay, and so they want someone very different from all their exes because those relationships didn't work out. So they're looking for a new experience, a new kind of love, a new kind of partner. So someone very different from people that they have met in the past. Okay, with this Judgment card, what I'm seeing here is, we have all these people down here on the bottom, sort of like looking to this angel, rising up to this angel, and kind of, it feels very much like being at the mercy or under the influence of this angel. So it could even be that your future spouse is looking for someone who is kind of like a trendsetter, right? Someone who's unique, someone who doesn't follow the trends, but makes the trends, someone who's, again, very individual, and independent. So individual in the sense of style, in the sense of looks, and honoring themselves and their desires, and moving with those energies rather than resisting them or putting them off to the side, again, because it is convenient or beneficial for others. You know what I'm saying? So they want someone who can like march to the beat of their own drum, if you know that saying, but also kind of has a little bit of charisma and allure and magnetism and charm and persuasiveness, even, to kind of get other people to follow along and kind of be able to convince people of their way of thinking, and their opinions. Now, with this Eight of Wands energy, I'm getting the sense that your future spouse also is looking for someone who's like quick on their feet, quick on their toes, someone who can kind of like, I'm getting this vibe that your future spouse has like a very fun sense of humor where they can be a little bit of a tease, like, tease, kind of playful, making fun of you kind of thing. And they're looking for someone too who's like witty and smart and quick enough to like clap back, right? Who can kind of banter with them a little bit. There's that's sort of like one of their playful sides, okay? And also I'm getting this sense of a lot of movement, a lot of travel. So you know how your future spouse really likes sort of diving into the deeper aspects of like the meaning of life and those types of things. Part of what they enjoy doing is traveling as well and experiencing different cultures, different lands, different people, different kinds of food. We talked about that earlier too. They love food and love eating meals. And so they're looking for someone who has that same interest of like traveling around the world, experiencing different people, different cultures, different places. All right. So, I have to say, I really like your future spouse's sort of outlook on things. I almost feel like I have to agree with a lot of the things your future spouse finds attractive and what they're looking for in a partner, for me personally, anyway. So let me know if you chose this pile and if you share any of these characteristics. Definitely make sure you claim this reading to let your future spouse know that, hey, I am ready for you. I got what you need. Come find me. Come see about me. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and comment down below. I claim reading number 1 and put your favorite emoji that has meaning to you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, so that you don't miss out on any of my future readings and content. I will see you all next time. Thanks for hanging with me. Take care, loves. Hello there, group number 2. Welcome to your timeless pick a card reading to find out what your future spouse is looking for in their partner, okay? And you were drawn to the second card here, Captain Marvel. So let's find out about what your future spouse is looking for, what they find sort of like attractive, and what their preferences are. So with this Captain Marvel card, I'm really getting this sense of like brightness. So they're looking for someone who has a very bright, maybe optimistic, cheerful demeanor, cheerful personality. I'm seeing too that they are really drawn to someone's smile. So they're looking for someone who has a very attractive smile, a very genuine smile is what I'm feeling here. Now, with this energy here of Captain Marvel, I almost said Captain America for some reason, but with this energy of Captain Marvel, what I'm getting is that this is someone who has a sense of confidence about themselves, who carries themselves in a way where they're just not timid, okay? Now, it's not that they're looking for someone who's cocky or confident or maybe outspoken or brash. Like nothing quite like that. It's just someone who's like very comfortable and confident in their skin, and someone who, you know, honors themselves and respects themselves, and someone who I'm getting this vibe of just inherently good. Okay, it's like I get this vibe. Captain Marvel, the character, is like she's a good guy, right? But no one would say she's like a goody two shoes or sort of like this perfect goody goody kind of person, right? Because Captain Marvel also has a little bit of sassiness, right? A little bit of cheekiness to her as well, even though she does kind of she's on like the good guy side. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Captain America is someone who's just this wholesome, good person. Like there's that kind of person who you want to be a role model, right? Captain Marvel, even though she's a good guy, a leader, and very powerful, like she's not that sort of like classic goody two shoes, teacher's pet kind of person, right? She still has a little bit of spunk to her. And that's what I'm getting here. Like, yes, they want someone who at their core is a good person, someone who has like good morals, good ethics, but they're okay with someone who's a little bit, you know, cheeky, a little bit, has kind of like a little bit of a smart mouth, a little bit of sass to them, okay? They find that really attractive. Maybe because it kind of doesn't fit that picture, right? Like you may look like an angel, but then sometimes the things that be coming out of your mouth, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you had that kind of spunk and that kind of attitude in you, right? They kind of like that. I feel this sort of like it almost like turns them on a little bit if there's like a hint of like a bad boy, bad girl vibe within the person, even though their sort of general demeanor is someone that is like good and wholesome. What I There was something else that I was getting to, and I'm like totally. I feel like it totally escaped me, y'all. Let me see if it'll come back here. Mm, it's not. Now, it could be too, I was picking this up earlier, and this may or may not apply to all of you, but in general, I'm seeing that your future spouse is attracted to someone who maybe has like fairer skin tone or like lighter hair. That's like one of the physical features that I'm seeing your future spouse might find attractive in general. But I don't think that's like a deal breaker for them at all. Where if you know if you're not fair skinned and or light hair, that they wouldn't be drawn to you. I think it's just sort of like what they find attractive, just in general. Um, let's grab some oracle cards here to find out more about what your future spouse finds attractive, or kind of like what they're looking for in a partner. Okay, so what do we have here? We have Cain. We have Fox. We also have Horseshoe. We have Dagger. Very interesting images here. And we have Forest. We also have I Am Bonded. So what I'm seeing here is your future spouse also, what they kind of look for in a partner is someone who is close with their family. That's the vibe I'm getting with the I Am Bonded and Forest card, okay? I'm getting the sense that your future spouse is looking for someone who like values family, also kind of wants to have a family of their own as well. So it seems like your future spouse is definitely looking for someone that they can have children with. Or I'm also hearing adopt children with, and also pets. I'm hearing pets too. So your future spouse, like their kind of ideal partner, is someone who would want to have a family together, raise a family together, and have like furry family members as well. Like dog is like coming through really strongly for me, but it can be any pet, you know. So it can be cat, it can be parrot or whatever, but dog is something that's really coming through strongly. I'm also seeing here with the Fox card that your future spouse really likes someone who is pretty sly, pretty slick, someone who is very witty, okay? Someone who is really good at like problem solving. So it's not so much about like book smarts or like having a lot of knowledge or information, but someone who's like a really good problem solver, all right? And someone who can kind of troubleshoot any challenges or obstacles that arise. I'm hearing too that it's like they enjoy playing games, like board games, video games, doing puzzles together. So that type of smarts, it kind of makes me, the vibe that I'm feeling is like my older sister. Like my older sister was not one of those nerdy kids in school that got like straight A's and took like AP classes or whatever, but she's really good at those puzzle games and kind of like solving mysteries and things like that. So she has like that type of smarts, and I feel like your future spouse is also looking for someone like that, like a little bit of street smarts, maybe, if you will, a little bit of like maybe common sense, someone who can learn very quickly from like trial and error and learns from their mistakes and quickly can like integrate that and not kind of make the same mistake twice. Someone who's had a lot of experiences in life and has learned from them and has become very knowledgeable in that sense. Um, yes, and the word here that's I feel is really pertinent to this type of smarts is this resourcefulness. Okay, someone who's very resourceful, who uses everything at their disposal to kind of navigate life. Um, With the horseshoe, what I'm getting is this, and the cane as well. On the cane card, it says on the bottom, pay attention to your health. And with the horseshoe, it says good luck, which I don't quite have a strong sense that this is related. But what I'm getting here is they also are looking for someone who values their health, who has a strong body. Okay, now with the horseshoe, I'm thinking about the animal, the horse, and it's one of those animals that is an animal of strength and kind of really helped human beings become a little bit more industrial. Like they would, back in the day, they would tie a horse up to like a plow and make the horse kind of plow the fields and like do the digging and all that kind of stuff. And so what I'm getting from that imagery, from that reference, is they're looking for someone who's physically strong, who is healthy. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have that type of body or physique of like a muscle man, muscle woman, like a gym body. It's not quite that to that extreme. And of course, maybe some of you do have that type of physique and body type, but they're really just looking for someone who has a strong body, not that type of person who looks like weak or sickly, or like they could easily be pushed over, like someone who looks like very sturdy. Okay. I'm hearing too that they pay, interestingly enough, they pay a lot of attention to posture. So they're not really attracted to people who are kind of like hunched over and like quiet and shy and a little bit mousy. Like they want someone who like stands up tall, whose like shoulders are broad, has like a very good posture. Like to them, that's really attractive. Okay, and again, maybe there's that element of confidence coming through with that body language. Okay. Now, what is up with this dagger? I was not really expecting to see that. I don't even think this card ever came out when I've done a reading in the past using this deck, but there's like a ton of cards in the tea leaf deck. What I'm getting here is it's coming back to this sort of family vibe, okay? Where with this dagger, I'm sensing, the dagger can have two purposes, right? The dagger can be used to protect, it can be used to like chop up food and vegetables, to cook for a meal and provide for others, but the dagger can also be used as a weapon and it can cause harm to other living beings. And what does that all mean? What I'm getting is, again, that there's this strong sense of family where you, on one hand, can be very kind and nurturing and loving and patient and compassionate towards your family and your loved ones. But if anybody messes with them, like you can really flip that switch and become somebody else. And just as fiercely as you love your family and your close friends, you fiercely protect them as well, and you like stand behind them and have their back, and you will fight for them just as fiercely as how you love them. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, let's get some tarot as well for your reading here and dive deeper into sort of your future spouse's psyche and what they find desirable in a partner and attractive. So we have Queen of Wands. Look at this. We have Pele, the goddess of fire and like volcanoes from Hawaii. We have the Knight of Cups. We also have the King of Wands. Wow. So we have a lot of court cards coming through here. And we also have the Lovers. Nice. So definitely I would say that, your future spouse kind of has this mindset of like being with their soulmate, or in some cases being with their twin flame. Okay, that they do value romance. It's not sort of, a partnership is not necessarily transactional for them, or like two powerful people coming to unite and expanding their empire, expanding their wealth and abundance and resource. It's not very transactional in that sense. They're just looking for someone with whom they can kind of go through life's journey with and grow with and evolve with. They're definitely looking for their match, okay? Someone that really complements them, because we have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So, whether or not regardless, I should say, of which gender you identify with, masculine or feminine, they're looking for that divine counterpart, that other half, someone, again, who can complement them. Um, and really matches up with them very well. Now with this King of Wands, so maybe you can take a look and see kind of which persona you identify most with, and then your future spouse will take the other persona. So with this King of Wands persona, again, taking gender and sex aside and just seeing what sort of personality and characteristic matches up with you, we have a lot of sharks in this image, okay? And sharks are animals that a lot of people tend to fear and tend to be afraid of, because the thing about sharks is that they are predators, okay? They are kind of like the top of the food chain. They're very strong, they're very fast, and and they they kind of take what they want and they go after what they want. There's that that sort of whatchamacallit, that feature, I guess, or characteristic of a shark where they could like smell blood from like hundreds of miles away and they will move towards the source to, have their next meal or whatever. Now, the other thing though about sharks is, and a lot of predators in the animal kingdom, is like they don't waste. Like they will eat when they're hungry and they don't just like eat for the sake of eating. They don't hunt for just like the joy and the pleasure of it. They do it out of necessity, all right? And so what I'm getting here is that this person who matches up with the King of Wands, like they will go after what they want and they will go after it fiercely. But they don't do it with the mindset of like trampling over people or hurting people's feelings or taking advantage of other people or doing it just for the fun of it, just for the sake of it. Like there's a reason behind all of their actions, okay? And they're very sort of thoughtful and intentional with what they do. Also, there's this thing about sharks. I want to say too, they kind of have like this, like some other fish. They have this electromagnetic field around them that helps them kind of sense shifts in the current, and that's how they can kind of like go towards movement, because they can sense any shifts in the water around them. And so this person who kind of fits this King of Wands is someone who can really take advantage of opportunities that come their way and take action upon it, and seize these opportunities and to their kind of advantage. Okay, so this is someone who's not very meek, who's okay with taking a risk, who's okay with taking chances, who's okay with like doing something new, right? And being a bit adventurous. With this Queen of Wands persona, okay, again, not paying so much attention to gender or sex and just more the personality. This energy here is someone who I feel like the phrase mama bear or papa bear is kind of like appropriate, where they're very kind, they're very caring, they're very sweet, compassionate, nurturing, very giving towards family. But they can be, very protective. They can be very scary when they are provoked, or when someone is trying to harm them or harm the ones that they love, or take advantage of them. So very protective is the vibe that I'm getting. Very protective, willing to defend their loved ones. So Pele here, with the goddess of fire, the thing with fire is it can be very destructive. It can be a very powerful force of nature that can, really demolish and burn down like forest and land and whatnot. But it's also carries a lot of nutrients with it, okay? Like One of the things I remember learning about like years ago about forest fires and stuff is, yeah, it causes a lot of devastation, but it also creates a lot of nutrients for new growth. And it kind of like clears the way so that something new can be born. Okay, like the forest can be reborn in that way. And so there is this sort of like destructive nature to fire, and sort of you're like this person who identifies with the Queen of Wands, but also again that life-giving energy coming through as well. And then lastly, with the Knight of Cups, what is the Knight of Cups trying to let us know? Okay, so there's a bit of a romance, okay? A romantic side to your future spouse. They want someone that they can kind of be like ushy gushy and like disgustingly cute with. I'm hearing too that your future spouse is a big fan of like pet names, you know, like honey pie, cielo, mi amor, um, what is the one in Thai? Tilak. Tilak, I think, is like honey or sweetheart, you know, baby. Like they like those kind of names, and they want someone who they can kind of share that side of them with, this very romantic, cheesy side with. Okay, they're looking for someone who will reciprocate that. And I'm hearing too, like, they like cuddling, they like holding hands, they like a lot of physical touch, like showing a lot of affection in the words, in the actions, in the physicality of the relationship as well. So someone who I'm hearing that they want someone who's very expressive, okay, in their thoughts, their actions, their words that they say. They're looking for that person who is very expressive of their feelings and their emotions, because that's how they kind of get their cue of like, um, is this person happy? Are they sad? Are they in love? Are they disinterested? Right? Like they take a lot of these cues. They need that expression. They're not, I don't get the sense that they're that type of person that's like, okay, I can just read you and I can, you know, kind of read your thoughts, read your mind, intuit what you're saying. Like they prefer someone who's very straightforward, upfront, easy to read, easy to kind of have a conversation with, very open, very honest kind of persona, which actually I would say fits with Captain Marvel, you know, kind of just going back to the beginning of the reading. So let me know what you thought of your reading, loves. Let me know if you share some of the characteristics that your future spouse is looking for in their partner down in the comments below. If you're claiming this reading, you're ready to meet your future spouse, call them into your life, or maybe you've already met them, make sure to claim this reading. Like I claim reading number 2 or whatever resonates with your soul, to comment down below. And before you head out, don't forget to like this video to claim the energies as well, but also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future readings. So thank you for letting me read for you today, and I will see you all at the next reading. Hi there, Group 3. Welcome to your timeless pick a card reading to find out what your future spouse looks for in a partner, all right? So you were drawn to a Nightcrawler. Let's get some more information from Spirit about what your future spouse finds attractive, what they're looking for in a long-term partner. Now, with this Nightcrawler card, there's a couple of things that I'm getting. So firstly, it says, in my eyes, I am beautiful. So part of this, what I'm hearing is, again, take what resonates with you. You don't have to take it all. But for many of you, your future spouse is very attracted to light colored eyes, particularly blue eyes. Now, beyond that, on sort of a bigger scale, your future spouse is actually looking for someone who has a very unique physical appearance. Something about their features is a little bit different from the rest, okay? So it could be like shape of the eyes, color of the eyes, shape of the face, hairstyle, hair color, that type of thing. They're looking for someone who has a very distinguished or distinguishing characteristic, or it's like some kind of physical feature that makes them stand out. I'm hearing too that your future spouse is actually kind of attracted to a little bit of oddity, a little bit of weirdness, a little bit of quirkiness, okay? They don't want someone who's sort of like run-of-the-mill, like cookie cutter type of person. They want someone who is very different, very unique. It could be that your future spouse is also that way, right? That they feel that they are a little bit odd, a little bit weird. You know, I'm hearing this song by Radiohead, the song Creep. Cause I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. So I'm also getting to, so we have like the classic weirdos, outcast kind of vibe, which actually makes me think your future spouse might even be an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarian energy within them. But I'm also hearing like star seed, light worker, healer, right? So so this energy of like not not feeling normal, quote unquote. And they don't think it's a bad thing. They actually prefer abnormality, weirdness, a little oddity, you know? Again, they're not really into that cookie cutter, like popular trends, popular culture. They're looking for people who are, or someone, I should say, because not, we're focusing more on the love thing, not just friends and whatever, but they're looking for a partner who kind of shares that interest in a little bit of the weird, a little bit of maybe even like the occult type thing. So they're looking for someone that they can connect with and they can bond with for their that sort of unique, odd, weird energy that they carry. What else is coming through here? So I don't know if you know much about the character of Nightcrawler in the Marvel Universe, but Nightcrawler is known to be a person of faith. Okay, I believe he's like Catholic. But despite how he looks very different. Like, it's obvious that he's not like a normal human being, right? Blue skin, three fingers, three toes, little like tail with a fork at the end, a little point at the end, I should say. Um, and, you know, he was persecuted and hunted down and made fun of and treated poorly because of his looks. Yet he never lost faith in humanity. He never lost faith in like God and spirit. You know, he was never like damaged by the cruelties by which people treated him. He kept that faith, kept that light. And so I'm hearing that your future spouse does value someone who's optimistic and someone who doesn't cower or get broken down or defeated by challenges or, you know, people teasing or making fun of them. It's almost like that phrase, like sticks and stones can break my bones, but words would never hurt me, kind of thing. So there's like this bit of resilience about you're not, your light isn't dimmed, your heart isn't broken and shattered uh, by the fact that you are different, and that maybe there are some people who won't accept you, or even worse, some people might speak ill of you or tease you or make fun of you. Like, they're looking for that person who can be proud of their weirdness and who can still continue to love and have compassion for other people and not be jaded, or not be that type of person who is like untrusting, right? And who expects the worst out of everybody. So, wow, that was very profound, very deep. Okay, let's get some tarot out. And I feel guided to, okay, I feel like that wanted to be a part of your reading. So we will take those. And is there anything from this deck, Spirit? Okay. This one. Okay, so let's see what we got here, and then we'll pull some tea leaf cards. So you have the Seven of Wands. Oh, we have the Six of Cups. So cute. We have the King of Wands. Yes. Love it. And we also have the Page of Wands. So a lot of Wands energy here. And the Strength card. Yes, I feel it's so appropriate. It matches up so well with what we were just talking about specifically. I was like, what is the part that's moving on this card? So it's the girl's hands. She's like petting the lion, stroking the lion, and the lion's tail is like waggling. Is waggling a word? I don't even know. Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. I'm known for making up my own words too. Hope maybe you do that as well. So what I'm seeing here again, that your future spouse is looking for someone who is unique, who's independent, who is not like the average person, okay? And they're not afraid of it. Someone who embraces their uniqueness, their weirdness, and doesn't lose sight of the beauty of life here. This that their sort of that inner child isn't like damaged and frightened and coward and like resentful and spiteful. Like they want that person to still, like their inner child is still able to see the joy in life and still wanting to experience a lot of things in life, a lot of the happiness, and it still kind of gets out there in the world and shows up and kind of does things that they love to do and doesn't like lock themselves away in their home and like not, kind of afraid to and fearful to be seen, to be out exploring the world beyond the home. I'm getting that vibe as well. Also, too, someone who's very playful. So the other thing about Nightcrawler and what I'm seeing in this card here is your future spouse really likes to be playful and be childish and be goofy and silly, right? That's that part of like embracing your weirdness. Like it's you will just act out and be silly and not care what other people think, It's kind of like I'm seeing this man like going, ooh, 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 like pretending to act like a monkey, right? Like a grown man. Like, so someone who's not afraid to act silly, act goofy, and not feel like, oh, I have to be like an adult. I have to be mature. Like that's not your future spouse's vibe at all. And they want someone they can be goofy and silly with. Because now what I'm hearing, which is so beautiful, is like your future spouse sees life as like a beautiful experience, right? And they don't tend to take life so seriously. That yeah, there are some situations, some circumstances, some issues in life that you do have to, address and follow up on and be responsible about. But I think your future spouse in general, like their overall vibe is like life is an adventure, life is an experience, and we get to make what we want out of it, regardless of whatever external factors that are out of our control. Like we can still enjoy life no matter what happens. We can still have a beautiful, positive experience, right? I feel like that's sort of your future spouse's attitude, and they would like to be with someone who shares that same energy, that same sort of optimism and hopefulness. Now, what do we have here with the King of Wands and the Page of Swords? They definitely, I'm seeing here that, the page is the youngest out of all the court cards, and the king is the mature expression of the wand's energy. King and queen sometimes are kind of on the same level there, and one represents sort of the divine masculine, and the other represents more the divine feminine of the energy of the suit. And so I'm really seeing here that your future spouse is wanting someone that they feel they can grow with, okay? Someone that they feel like they can tackle life's challenges with. I'm getting this vibe of like your future spouse is like, I want to be with someone who I feel like we're on the same team, right? It's sort of this like, we're united together, we can take on whatever life puts in our path, okay? Like they're looking for a real partnership here, that someone that will stick with them through thick and thin, who they can learn and grow together and evolve on life's journey. I'm also hearing too that your future spouse wants someone who's like curious and willing to try new things, be adventurous, step outside of their comfort zone a little bit, okay? That's also what I'm hearing. I get the sense that your future spouse does like enjoy a little bit of adventure, a little bit of like novelty in life. Okay, they don't like to do the same thing over and over and over again. They don't want to kind of get stuck in a routine. um, I'm hearing that your future spouse perhaps too can get bored a little bit easily, and so they want someone who they can kind of like switch it up with, you know what I'm saying? Someone who isn't uncomfortable with change. And with this strength card, I'm definitely feeling like your future spouse is like looking for someone who has a lot of integrity, okay? And someone who has a lot of willpower, who has a lot of personal strength, inner strength to kind of, again, take on whatever life brings them, and not be broken down by life and what comes their way. Resilient. That's, I think, a really good word for what your future spouse is looking for. So it's very interesting. Like a lot of the energies that's coming through from these readings feel like, in general, very evolved beings. But I have to say, like, that's sort of the energy I want to put out there, with my channel, is attracting individuals who are like on the path to being highly evolved, higher frequency. And so I'm not surprised that a lot of my future spouse readings do go very deep and do go beyond just like the superficial of like, you know, oh, what does someone look like, and those things that I feel at the end of the day don't carry as much weight as like someone's character. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like of course, beautiful, pretty, handsome things are nice to look at, but at the end of the day, like this is your future spouse, you know? And so there has to be something more than just looks for what would qualify as a partnership and a lifelong relationship. I don't know where that came from. I just felt like I had to share that. So thank you for letting me do so. So we have handshake here. Look at this. What I'm talking about, partnership. Someone who which they see as an equal, and someone with which is like, I got your back, you have my back. We can rely on each other. We can lean on each other. I can count on you. I can trust you, right? That kind of energy. Y'all, you can't even make this stuff up sometimes. We have the unicorn. Again, that unique magical being. They're looking for someone who's weird, someone who's odd, someone who stands out in the crowd, someone who is like so cool, so groundbreaking, so pioneering, so ingenious. I feel like that's totally not the word. Someone who's creative, right? Um, Someone who is forward thinking, futuristic, right? Like that kind of energy. Tortoise. And I'm getting this energy of like very solid, steady kind of individual. Lightning. Ooh, again, this is like giving me strong Aquarius vibes. And like the planet that also represents Aquarius is Uranus. And I feel like too with this lightning, I'm also hearing Zeus, the name Zeus. So the god of thunder, the ruler of Olympus, that kind of thing. So there's this very like heavenly, otherworldly energy they're looking for. Like I'm hearing the words like, again, alien, star seed, someone who is like not just living in the 3D dimension or realm, like someone who is connected to 5D reality. Okay, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like many of you do, or else you would not have been drawn to pile number 3, right? So they're looking for, again, that soul family, that person who goes beyond just human experience and human reality and the physical realm. They want someone who they feel sort of this otherworldly connection with, okay? And I'm hearing too, with this energy of like spirituality, they're looking for someone who they can create a reality with, like co-create a life with. We have seahorse. Beautiful. And it says family matters on the bottom. So it could very well be that your future spouse wants someone that they can have a family with as well, you know. Um, and I'm also hearing the word non-traditional, because in with seahorses, I don't know if you knew this, but I feel like I'm doing like some National Geographic special. Like so many of these readings today on this video, I've been like spitting out random animal facts. But with the seahorse, it's the dad, the male seahorse, who carries like the baby eggs in his little pouch and then like incubates them and watches over them until they're all ready to hatch, you know, which is not the norm, not the typical of what people normally think of. It's normally like the female that, you know, takes care of the eggs, watches over the eggs, you know, carries the children, the offspring in the womb, like that kind of thing. The other animal that I'm thinking of too is the penguin. Like the male and female penguin like take turns like putting the egg in between their little feet to keep it warm. But in any case, yes. So again, very non-traditional, not sort of like run-of-the-mill, average, normal, usual kind of setup in the relationship. So I feel like with your future spouse, like this notion of like gender roles doesn't really exist for them. It's like, okay, whatever, you know, I have my strengths, you have your strengths. Who cares? Boy, girl, 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 guy, guy, like whatever. Like let's just be in our strength, be in our power. Oh, yes, 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 honey. I love that. Be in our own powers and let's like conquer the world together, right? Like that's how I feel. It's not about pride for your future spouse, which makes me think again about, you know, Nightcrawler and the whole aspect of religion, where, you know, a big part of religion, a big part of spirituality is letting go of that pride, and being humble and being open to guidance, wisdom, and learning, right? And there's this like humbleness, this humility that comes with it. And we have fair woman. Now, what's so interesting about this fair woman card is I don't even think it has much to do at all with like divine feminine woman energy at all. It's making me think of, I want to say it's the Pleiades, where I think the Pleiadians are the ones that are like fair skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. And you know, we were talking about like the blue eye thing earlier with Nightcrawler as sort of like the opening piece of information. So it could be, again, like Pleiadian energy, you both share, right? So if you know the starseed thing, like there's all the different universes and galaxies and whatever. And it could be that you share a lot of those Pleiadian energies, characteristics, or values. So maybe like look that up. I feel like that would be helpful for you to kind of understand what your future spouse is looking for, what type of features or characteristics. So look up Pleiades, Pleiadians, and kind of see what their characteristics are like, because it would be a good sort of explanation as well, or give some good information as to what your future spouse looks for in a partner, what type of characteristic or feature. So I love how like this reading ended, like super spiritual, super like new agey kind of energies. I love it. I'm totally here for it. Let me know what you thought of your reading. If you match any of these characteristics down below, comment it, please. And of course, if you're claiming this reading, you're ready to meet your future spouse, you're like, I got what you need. Come on over, right? Make sure you claim pile number 3 in the comments down below and add your favorite emoji. If you have the seahorse emoji, I feel like that would be a great one to use, by the way. But use whichever one speaks to you the most. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future readings. And thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. I will see you all again soon. Take care, loves.